welcome back to the first Right Stuff of the week, coming at you live on Channel 5 with Nadia Suala, Scott Capurro and Sarah Kaywood. Sarah's going to have the rest of the headlines for you soonish, but first I want your take on this new IVF technique that needs 3 parents to produce 1 baby. 0207 173 5555 is the number if you've got something to say. We mentioned it briefly on Friday, but now we know that MPs and medics must decide whether or not to green-light this 3-parent IVF technique for use in the UK. Developed by scientists at Newcastle University, it uses genetic material from 2 women and 1 man in order to bypass mitochondrial diseases which are carried by women. Babies born with mitochondrial disease can be affected in different ways. Some will develop muscular dystrophy, others diabetes, blindness, heart failure. And around 100 tots a year are born with this condition. And there are no cures. But this new technique could bypass the problem by transferring genetic material between 2 fertilised eggs. And, I mean, this is the simplest way I can deliver it to you. Doctors remove the nucleus from the egg of the woman affected by mitochondrial disease, the primary mother, if you like, and they then insert it into the healthy cell from the donor woman, which has been stripped of its nucleus, and the resulting embryo is then implanted in the original mother, and thus will have the DNA of both mother and father, but also the mitochondrial DNA of a healthier donor. Net result, 1 disease-free baby. This IVF technique is amazing. There is no doubt about that. But just because we can doesn't mean we should. The planet is overpopulated. Soaring birth rates mean the current total of 6.7 billion consumers is going to rise to a cramped 9.2 billion within 40 years without IVF. And there won't be enough food, water or other resources to support that amount of people. 3 million extra consumers have been born since the invention of IVF in the 70s. We now have women in their 60s feeling entitled to have a child. Maybe this endless quest to produce disease-free babies, and Janet Ellis and I were talking about this last week, keeping old people alive with all manner of drugs is not doing the human race any good, Nadia.
OK, I'm going to upset a lot of people when I say this.
Well?
But if I'm honest, and I have friends who had babies with IVF, if I'm honest, I don't agree with the whole IVF thing at all.
OK.
I am in agreement with you. I've been picking up there that we have so many people on the planet. I think that not everybody is supposed to have a baby.
Right.
Now, I know that people will be cross with me that I have 2 children of my own. But after my first child, I had 3 miscarriages and I was desperate to have a second baby. And I would not have considered for a moment having IVF. There's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. Do you
see this 3-parent?
Yeah, I think it's even more insane.
Yes.
I do. I just think it's going to... I think that we're in a world where we believe we have the right to have everything, and we do not. And certainly that's something I really got from my experience in Africa. This extraordinary acceptance that people have. You know, I started off in Africa thinking, oh, how dreadful to live out. So people are enduring such tough lives. And yet, a lot of the people that I met had a kind of peace that we can only dream of. We want everything. We can't have everything.
So I don't know if I'm opposed to IVF, but I do think it's changed the way we view fertility and particularly how women see their entitlement to children.
Exactly.
But it also opens the door to your Patricia Rashbrooks and people that want to have babies in their 60s. This is something else, though, Sarah. I mean, this is 3 parents to produce 1 child. Now,
it's the DNA from what... It's not really 3 parents, it's healthy DNA.
Without the 3rd parent, you couldn't do it.
Yes, without the DNA of the third parent.
We are
and
but DNA.
I think if it did get approved, there'll obviously be regulations in place to make sure that there aren't stupid custody battles and what have you. But you said...
Oh, well, that's brilliant, of course, because 3 parents, you say...
Well, I would willingly...
I don't like you, Mum, I like my other mum and my dad.
I would willingly give my healthy DNA for a couple that were blighted by this. And I disagree with Nadia because... and it is... you speak to any woman that can't have children and the longing that they feel, and I know lots of my friends...
But isn't that longing...
And you do have children, it's very difficult.
But isn't the longing exacerbated by the fact fact that we have the technology to help. That if we didn't have the technology, you just have to get on with it. Keep calm and carry on, which is how we've done for thousands of years.
Psychologically, I think that people are damaged. Like, if I don't get to have the children that I would really like to have, I know that I will be very sad for the rest of my life. And I know people that are sad about it. And women, I think, are driven psychologically by the desire.
Maybe we need to
People
do
are sad
something
for
about
all
it.
kinds of things. People are sad when their children die. We have sad people. We can't get rid of sad people. I mean, Scott tries his best with his humour. But,
well,
Scott,
I've had 4 fathers and several daddies, and I turned out pretty well. I mean, I support IVF for pretty people and smart ones.
Yes, come on.
Seriously, we clearly need more of those. I just don't want any more monsters running around. Well, I just think I don't have children because I have travel plans. But after and after my journey in Hawaii, anyway, after my journey in Hawaii, watching topless women run on the beach that were hot, I thought more of those.
Yes,
I'm just worried that we'll get the wrong people, like, oh, I want a kid, I'm sad. And then, oh no, who's going to pay for that? I mean, if you have a future and you have, you know, the finance to afford yourself to have children and you can plan a future for those kids. I think so many people have kids in natural childbirth that aren't ready.
So only wealthy people should
No, I didn't say wealthy, but if you can support
Scott.
them and you have an education and you can have a kid that's going to be happy and healthy.
But hang on, when you say you can support them, you're talking about the immediate fiscal demands of raising a child. The planet has to support the child.
Yeah, but Matthew, you said it was 100. You said, you know, about this 100 children are born. That's not compared with the population explosion of people that are having. People are having 12 children and living on state benefits.
Think of the financial investment that has gone into producing something which is totally
to produce
unnatural,
healthy children,
which we don't need. We've got billions of them.
Where else could that money go, actually, for people that are suffering now?
We need healthy, slender children. That's what we need. And if they're not eating a lot, they won't tax the planet.
Okay. Thank heavens we have you at home to help us. After the break, having heard these guys, it'd be interesting to hear your take on this. Is this latest IVF technique another scientific miracle or another nail in the coffin of an overpopulated planet? And I know I bang on a bit about things being unnatural, but come on, 3 parents to produce 1 baby, whatever next? 4? 0207 173 5555 is the number you need. Dial it and we'll talk next.